morning, Regents. I am calling this called meeting of the Board of Regents of Del Mar College District to order at 9:01 a.m. on Friday, March 19th. We are meeting via a video and/or teleconference as per in accordance with guidance from the offices of the Governor and Attorney General regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Members of the public have the opportunity to view this meeting live stream on our Del Mar College website in real time, as well as listen to the audio of this meeting. I'm going to do a roll call of our regents. Regent Adami.
Here.
Regent Averett.
Here.
Regent Bennett. Regent Bennett. There we go. Regent Bennett, you're unmuted.
Okay, I'm here.
Thank you, sir. I knew you were there. We just had to get the technology working. Thank you, sir. Regent Garza.
Here.
Regent Hutchison.
Here.
Regent Turner. Regent Turner. And I'm Regent Scott. We do have a quorum and can conduct business. Regent Salinas will not be able to join us today. I'm going to start with a moment of silence, please. Thank you all. And if you would join me, I don't know if we have it on the screen or not, but we do have it listed on our agenda. Please join me in reading the Del Mar College Vision Statement. Del Mar College will be the premier choice for life-changing educational opportunities provided by responsive and innovative faculty and staff who empower students to improve local and global communities. And Regents, I forgot the Pledge of Allegiance, so I am going to stand and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and I appreciated the knowing smiles from some of you. All right, we do have our first candidate with us already, but before we jump into the interviews, I did want to note that we did not have any public comment for our meeting this morning. No one registered for public comment. And our one agenda item for the day is discussion and possible action relating to the appointment to fill District 3 Regent vacancy and doing those interviews via video conference today. Before we get started, are there any questions about process from any of our regents? All right. I do want to note that our General Counsel is online as well as many other staff members, and Dr. Escamilla is, of course, in the boardroom with me. So if at any point in time there is an issue or a question, we do have the ability to get some legal counsel. We are beginning our interviews as Mr. Rivera had previously indicated to you via email with Stephanie Guerrero Signs. We have previously sent you the cover letter, resume, and letters of recommendation for Ms. Signs. And so we are going to start this process. I am going to, just a second, pull out my cell phone so I can keep time. All right. Maybe I won't. Maybe. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Escamilla. Dr. Escamilla is going to be our timekeeper. We have approximately 30 minutes for each interview, Ms. Guerrero Signs, and we are going to begin with a 3 to 5 minute introduction. You can give introductory comments about yourself, and then we have a series of questions that we sent to you that we will then ask you one at a time and ask you to answer those, and followed by questions from our individual regents in terms of follow-up, and then an opportunity for you to provide a closing statement. So at this time, Ms. Guerrero Signs, unmute yourself and let's hear from you. Thank you so much for your interest, and we look forward to getting to know you a little bit better.
I am thrilled to be here. Good morning.
Morning, everyone. And I want to thank the staff. They were excellent. I was impressed. I mean, everything was just the way they said it would be, and everything ran perfectly smooth. So I appreciate your help getting all of this set up, because I know that it's work, and I'm glad to be here with you. Well, I mean, as it says in my resume, I have been a teacher for the last 24 years. And during that time, I have participated in any way that I can to help my school district or to help my school. And I think the very first committee that I volunteered for was a bilingual education committee in Georgetown, Texas. They were experiencing, an influx of students who only spoke Spanish. And this was new for the community. So they decided they needed to do something different, and I got to join that committee. And I was one of the first teachers, probably the first teacher actually, that they had to teach ESL to parents. So that was a very innovative program that they came up with to help their community when they started to see a change. And from there, I moved on to Mathis ISD, and I was on the attendance committee. I was considering becoming an administrator at the time, so I also did a principalship there, and it gave me some insight into how things were, operate at the high school level. And I got to also participate on their site-based planning committee, all kinds of student assistance committees. Whatever I could do, I wanted to do. And in addition to helping my school district, I also would put together programming for our students. And so even back starting in Georgetown, I organized Hispanic Heritage Month for the school, which they'd never had before. I organized Black History Month for the school, which they never had before. And being that I was new to the community, I had to reach out and find people, because I didn't know anyone like I do here at home. So I had to reach out and figure out, who can I go out to bring into the school, to speak to our children, to help me inspire them to continue on and to not give up, because that is the thing that we need when we're reaching out to students and we want to bring them into our universities, into our colleges. We need to find a way to keep them motivated, to keep them inspired, because it is not an easy road for a lot of kids. And I know that firsthand. I did want to share like everything I've ever done with you, but it's in the resume. So if I could, I'd like to just share a little story with you about myself. I did move out of my parents' home when I was 18 years old by choice, because I wanted to just, do my own thing. And but I also knew that the expectation was that I would go to college, although there wasn't any money for college. So I had to work to be able to pay my expenses, go to school. And my college was Del Mar College. And so when I was hearing about Mrs. Estrada, I thought, I'm sad, because I know Mrs. Estrada personally. I've known her for over 20 years, since she was a principal at Mathis ISD. And so I've known her for a very long time, and I know how much effort and energy she put into this. And at the same time that I was feeling very, just very emotional about what she was going through, I also thought, I could do this. And so I got, motivated myself, and I thought, I can do this. I mean, Mrs. Estrada's done a very good job. And I thought, who could do a job like Mrs. Estrada? I think I could do it. I think I could be there. I think I could fill those shoes. I think she would definitely, keep me motivated and keep me going and inspired throughout this journey. So that's kind of where it started. I mean, I know what our students go through. I know how hard it is to work and go to school and have to pay for it out of pocket. And I know the struggle. And at the same time, I've been a teacher for the last 24 years. And I understand, the mechanics of the boards and the committees and all the things that we do to keep a school district running. And I think I can take that knowledge and bring it into this position as well. So Mhm.
Thanks for those introductory comments. Just because we do have an opportunity for you to answer some prepared questions, but some Q&A,
Sure.
I do want to make sure that we have time for that. So our first prepared question for you is, what makes Del Mar
College's mission
mission
powerful for you?
Powerful for me because every day I am working to create lifelong learners. And every day I'm talking about the opportunities that they can have through higher education. And it doesn't stop in my classroom. When I'm out in public, that is what I'm preaching. And to the point that, if someone in my family hears of someone who needs some help, they're trying to figure out how they're going to make their way through college, they'll say, you can call my daughter, call my sister, call my cousin, she'll help you. So it's something that's part of my daily life, that it's something that I truly believe in. I really do feel like higher education is what I want for my students, for my community. And I do realize not everybody, has that desire, but I still push it because I think it's a beautiful thing. And I mean, one of the sayings we grew up with when we were little is, no one can take your education away from you. That's all yours. And so I have that always in my mind, that education is one of the most important things that we can give ourselves. So when I read the mission statement, I think that was, it was there for me. I was that person who needed that affordable degree, who needed, something to help her get that lift up. And that's what Del Mar is. It's a place for someone who wants to do something with their lives, but needs something affordable that is also quality. So yeah,
Thank
I
you.
feel like I've lived it, and I'm a result of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
The second
The
question
second
that we sent you in
question that we
advance
sent you in
is, what is
advance
a
is,
regent's
what is a
role in a
regent's role
community
in a community
college, and
college,
how would you
and how would
carry
you
out that
carry out
role?
that role?
Right. So our Del Mar Board of Regents, as you guys know, are entrusted to act in the best interest of the community. And I know it's from like budgets to policy to public image. And while our community wants to see, we want to see new facilities, we want to see old facilities maintained, we want to see growth, we want to see a lot of beautiful things. But in the end, the most important thing that we're entrusted with as regents would be the advancement of our community through higher education. So I think in everything that a regent does, you always have to go back to that one, major question, how is this benefiting our students in our community? So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the third
And then the third
question,
question,
what do you
what do
believe
you
you would
believe you
bring to
would
the Board
bring
of
to the Board
Regents
of
that makes
Regents
you
that makes you
unique
unique
and best
and best
qualified to serve?
qualified to serve?
Well, definitely, as I stated before, the fact that I have, right now, I have classroom experience. I'm in the door. I'm hearing what our students are saying, and I know what obstacles they think are in their path. It's a mental thing sometimes, and I think that would help. I mean, if we're trying to, recruit more students to the college, I think understanding their mindset is important when we come to putting together our messaging. And Del Mar's had great messaging in the past. I know it's been inspiring for me, but we want to always continue that and continue that outreach to that group of kids that are coming, in up into the age where they can go to college. So that's one. I think I'll add more diversity to the board. There's already a very diverse board, every person with different talents. And I definitely feel like I can add to that mix. Um, and most of all, with me, you're going to get somebody who is definitely going to be ethical, who is going to do their homework, and who's going to pay attention and ask good questions and make sure that our coastal Bend community is ensured success through the success of Del Mar.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Stephanie.
Thanks, Stephanie.
So Regents, as you are prepared to ask a question, if you will just open your mic and I will call on you. That way we can try to keep somewhat of an order. But if you are prepared to ask a question, please open your mic. I will go ahead and start with a question because I don't see any open mics at the moment. Stephanie, there is the college is governed by a number of things, including federal statute, state statute, our local policies. But one of the most important governing functions that we have is to make sure that we stay in good standards with the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. We just finished a 10-year accreditation process and got some rave reviews, but there's really important distinction in the accreditation process between management and governance and the policy-making role of the board. So can you speak to your understanding of those concepts of the difference between management and governance?
When I think of management, I think we're looking at how we put together policies and how we also oversee what is going on in how those policies are being fulfilled at our campus, at our campuses, and when I think of governance, I look at it more not necessarily the policy side, but how we conduct ourselves on the board, and I think also of ethics and making sure that we are, following a high standard ourselves. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that for now.
Thank you, Stephanie.
But
other questions from Regents? Other questions from Regents? All right. I'm going to give you the opportunity, Stephanie, to provide a quick wrap-up of your experience and any closing comments you would like to make.
Okay. Well, I am an educator at heart, and having lived here all my life and taught here, I am a familiar face that my community does trust to be a good steward. And I do thank you for your time. And I know that you guys have a long day ahead of you and a lot of work to do. So I'm going to let you guys get to it. But please do consider me. I know that there's a lot at stake. When I think about this, I think of our whole community and how everybody benefits from the advancement of our students. And these are the kids that are going into our workforce. These are the kids that are possibly going to go into higher education later on. And I will definitely be there to make sure that we are ensuring a very positive experience for them so that they will continue and have success in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being with us. And again, we appreciate your willingness to serve and your interest in applying for the position. We hope you have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Regents, we'll take a quick little 5-minute recess. I'm not going to ask you to keep your video on. As soon as the next candidate is with us, then we will call the meeting back to order. But just take a quick break if you'd like to. Hello, Carolyn. We're going to wait a few minutes and make sure all the regents are back on the call with us.
Okay.
Mr. Bennett, are you with us? Mr. Bennett, are you back with us?
This is Regent Bennett. I'm here.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure we were all back. Dr. Turner is going to return to her seat shortly, and then we'll be able to get started. Mr. Rivera, thank you. I think Dr. Turner, are you? Oh, she's still plugged in or not? I hate to get started without her. All right, I'm sure she will join us. She is in her classroom today and is listening to us with her earphones on, so I'm sure she will join us shortly. Mrs. Vaughn, thank you for joining us today, and we appreciate your interest
in Del Mar College and your willingness to serve.
As you were notified by Mr. Rivera, our attorney, we've got about 30 minutes to visit with you this morning, give you an opportunity for kind of an opening statement and introduction. We sent you 3 questions in advance, and then we'll have an opportunity for regents to ask some follow-up questions, and then you will have an opportunity for a 3 or 4 minute wrap-up statement. So again, welcome this morning, and please give us your introduction and opening comments.
Opportunity to visit with you, and I think I'm ready for the questions.
Okay. What makes Del Mar College's mission
powerful for you?
The thing that stood out for me, the words as I was reading it, was every quality education. I think access to quality education, everyone has a right to that, no matter what their financial status is, and because that alone can help you be successful in life, and it gives you confidence and respect. I was a little disappointed, to be honest with you, in the mission statement. I don't know when the last time it was updated. I know, Carol, that you've been updating a lot of things there, and I just thought it should tell more about Del Mar in that mission statement. It has so much more to offer in a mission statement, and I like excitement in words, and I think it should motivate and inspire, but quality education stood out for me.
Thank you very much. What is the Regents' role in a community college, and how would you carry out that role?
Well, from my understanding, it has a lot of responsibilities. I got on the web and looked it up because, to be honest with you, I didn't know what all you did. It looks like basically it's to promote and fulfill that mission statement and to run the college in a fiscal responsibility manner. I'm assuming that you set the tax rate, maybe try and recruit students and maintain them. It looks like you oversee maybe the chief executive officer and other top leadership. It reminded me a lot of city council in some ways, but not all. Looks like you set policy, but you don't work with the day-to-day operations. And looks like you plan ahead for the future. You do a lot of things.
Thank you. What do you believe you would bring to the Board of Regents that makes you unique and best qualified to serve?
Well, I think I'm unique for a couple of reasons. I think I identify with a lot of the population. You know, we have a population that's underprivileged, and I don't want to use the word poor, but they are. We have a lot of poor people in our population. They aren't educated, and they don't know how to apply or even think they have the opportunity to go to college. I think I can identify with them because I was one of them, so I understand it. We didn't have money. We were very poor, and being poor, you don't realize the opportunities that are out there. And when you go, even to try to go to college, it's very scary because you don't even know what you're supposed to do. I remember standing in line to just register for a couple of courses. And it's scary because you don't know what you're doing because your family has not taught you that. And I don't think it's just for students who graduate from high school. It's for people that are married, young mothers. And I think I can identify with them because I was in that same situation. I think sometimes you think you can't go to school. So I think I have a unique perspective on that. I was raised by a single mom in a family that didn't promote college or even think about going. So I think a lot of those students are in that same situation. I also believe that because of my success in business, that gives me a unique insight into what can be done. My husband and I operated, and sold several different businesses. We have actually created jobs. Not only in Texas, but in other states, 13 to be exact, across the United States. I've started young people in businesses of their own, and I've given them the same opportunity that I had. I think that being a business owner and balancing a budget qualifies me. My experience on City Council and the Commissioner's Court gives me a unique perspective of the community, and I work well with others. I always try and build a consensus. I may not agree with everything that you do, but I always like to find something that we have common ground in. Last but most, maybe the important thing to me is I'm honest. I have integrity, I'm transparent, and I understand the commitment that the public wants from us for being transparent. And I believe that if you ask anyone that I've worked with on City Council or the Commissioner's Court, those are the traits that they would say that I have. And I think I can bring a lot of insight into the Board of Regents.
Thank you, Mrs. Vaughn. Regents, we now have an opportunity to ask questions of Mrs. Vaughn, or if you'll open your mic or let me know if you have a question. Ms. Vaughn, I will start with a question about, just to get your insight on a specific topic. The community colleges, along with all institutions of higher education, have a number of entities that oversee and govern what we do. Obviously, federal and state regulation and local policies. But one of the most important entities that we report to in some way, shape, or form is an organization called the Southern Association of Commission and Colleges. Excuse me, the Southern Association of Colleges and Universities Commission on Colleges, SAC-COC. We just finished our 10-year accreditation, and without that accreditation, then our credits don't transfer to other universities and students cannot receive federal financial aid, other kinds of things. In that, there's very specific guidance in community colleges and institutions of higher education can actually get in trouble if their Board of Regents or Board of Trustees don't understand and appreciate and respect the difference between management and governance. I'm not going to ask if you're an expert on SAC-COC because none of the other regents on the phone are experts at SAC-COC either. But I do want to ask about your understanding of the general concepts of the difference between management and governance.
I'm not sure if I do, but I'll give you the best answer that I can. I think that you don't try and manage the college, you just oversee the operations. You don't get involved in the day-to-day, you don't stick your nose in those things, you set policy, you do things like that, but you don't get involved in the operations. So I think there's a difference because you can get in trouble. So that's my best short answer.
That's a great short answer, thank you. Are there other questions from other regents? Libby, I see your mic open.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, and I appreciate you being here and your interest. My question is, because you have served in some other elected capacities and you have run for office before, what is it about this position in particular that interests you? Because you have had those other positions. Why are you interested in being a Del Mar Regent?
Well, I always want to serve, and I've had several people ask me if I had any interest, and I always want to serve. But the other thing is, I think that if you can be successful in life with educating yourself, you can be successful in life. And I think that's one of the most important things that you can do. I like trying different things. I've served on the council, I've served on the commissioner's court, and they both served me well. I've enjoyed it and I've learned so much. And there's a learning curve, but I'm committed to learning and taking the time that it takes to learn what y'all actually do and how I can serve. I want to be a servant for the community. I always have wanted to be, and that's my main reason. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Mrs. Vaughn. Are there any other questions from other regents? All right, thank you. Would you like an opportunity to provide some closing comments or a wrap-up statement?
Yes, ma'am. First, I'd like to thank each of you for considering me and giving me the opportunity to visit with you. I think I'm qualified to fill this position because of my background. As I've said, it gives me a unique insight into much of our population in the city, of whom I identify with because I was one of them. I understand the importance of education. It's a high priority for me, and it was for the success of my children. The classes I took at Del Mar, which there were just a couple of them, and then I taught myself as well, I attribute it to my success as a businesswoman. I think my success shows my resilience, my commitment in getting a job done, and success in building, operating, and creating jobs. I don't know if anyone sitting on the board has ever actually created jobs. My service to the city and the Commissioner's Court gave me experience and understanding of the community and working with large budgets. As I said, I always like to build a consensus. May not agree with you, but I always want to find common ground. When I served on them, I knew nothing about them, but I learned. I'm honest, I have integrity, understanding, which I said is the most important thing, transparency. I'm a proven leader, and I think I am a model for women. I believe that Del Mar doesn't have enough presence or promotion in the city or our high schools. I think that if you ask anyone if Del Mar had a mascot, I did not know y'all did. I don't think they would know. And I believe there are so many ways to promote and engage young people fresh out of high school to want to attend, and ones that are older just want a fresh start to continue their education. I'm a big believer in learning a trade. That is something I think we've lost in our country, and you don't have to have a degree to be successful. College isn't for everyone, but you can learn a trade. So I would love to see the college offer both of these options on a bigger scale. And I'd also like to see the school have more public and student input to enhance and improve what great things you've already accomplished. You've got a great big school going there, and you got to fill it. It's my understanding, I tried to look up as much as I could, but the stats, it looks like since 2014, the enrollment has gone down. So when that happens in a business, you have to change course and you have to try something new. I just wonder, have you ever taken a survey to see what the students in high school want in college? I have gone and visited Blinn College, which my granddaughter attends A&M, but she also attends Blinn even by doing that because it's cheaper. So they work well together there. I would love to see, and some of this may not be popular with you, but this is just something that I was thinking about. I'd love to see the college explore having sports. You know, sports gives you a sense of belonging to a school and having something in common, a spirit of winning and pride in your school. Those are just some of the thoughts and ideas that I have. I think that I can contribute, and I think my business skills would really help in promoting the school. I so appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Vaughn. We again appreciate your willingness to apply for the position, and we thank you for your public service in the past, and appreciate your ongoing and continued support of Del Mar College.
And thank y'all for all that you do for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, Regents, we will take another short break while we get the next candidate on the phone, on the video. Mr. Bennett, I'm going to confirm that you are still there.
Mr. Bennett?
Mr. Bennett?
This is Regent Bennett.
All right, thank you. All right, and Dr. Turner has returned. So can you confirm that we are back on live again? I'm assuming Jason gave me the thumbs up, but I want to make sure. Sorry, our control booth is in another room. We're good. All right, thank you so much. We want to make sure we're doing all this correctly. Ms. Pierce, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your willingness to serve and your application to fill this position on our Board of Regents. As you were notified by our staff in advance, you will have an opportunity. We'll have about 30 minutes together if we need that much time. You'll have an opportunity to introduce yourself, give us a little bit of background and information about your willingness to serve. Then we've got 3 questions we sent you in advance. I apologize. I realize the camera is this way, but I'm looking at you here, so I apologize for that.
That's okay. It's a whole new world.
That's right. That's right. We did have 3 questions that we sent you in advance, and then some questions from the regents, and then you'll have an opportunity for a wrap-up statement. So with that brief outline of how we're going to work the morning, would you please give us your introductory comments?
Great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Deanne Pierce, and I'm a practicing attorney here in Corpus Christi. And I've been here for about 20 years. And I'm also a mother of 2 kids who are in the Cal Allen ISD. I've got a 7th grade daughter and an 8th grade son. And I've owned my own law firm or have been a partner in a law firm for the last 17 plus years. And so I've had the experience of interviewing and hiring people. And I'm also just kind of taking advantage of the excellent programs that Del Mar has provided, specifically the music department, which I love. And when this opportunity came up, I thought, I think good people that have the capacity need to step up and contribute. And so that's why I wanted to apply.
Thank you very much. The questions we sent you in advance, the first one, we'd like to hear your response to what makes Del Mar College's mission powerful for you.
Well, I have always been, education, I think, is just key to everything. And I think that the contribution that Del Mar makes to our community is something that can't be replaced. And so I look at it for the students' benefit, the fact that it provides access to people that might not otherwise have access, and also affordable and better for our economy generally. I look at it as an employer as well, so that's something else that matters. Also, it's something that I have a personal interest in now that I have 2 kids. That my son, he is involved in the Civil Air Patrol program, and they use the Del Mar hangar for their weekly meetings. And then also both my kids are just about to be in high school, and so I'm sure that they're going to be wanting to take advantage of the dual credit programs, which I've heard great things about as well.
Thank you. Second question, what is a regent's role in a community college, and how would you carry out that role?
Well, I think of the regent's role as basically an overarching strategic planning role and governing. I mean, of course, they hire the president. And so I think of them as supporting the president, making sure that the president has all the resources and support that he needs to carry out the mission of the school. The land management that goes along with it. I mean, I know we've got different campuses involved and that kind of thing. And that's something that I'm real familiar with in my practice. So it's something that would be, it's something that I would be able to handle dealing with.
Thank you. And then lastly, what do you believe you would bring to the Board of Regents that makes you unique and best qualified to serve?
Well, I think I just, I I'm interested in the mission of the school because of the education. I think it's key to the entire economy and the quality of life here in the Coastal Bend. And I want my kids to have, I want this whole Coastal Bend area to be a place that people want to come to, including my kids, and I want them to want to come back. And so that's one thing. And I've always been interested in kind of the overarching planning of the educational process. Ever since my kids started, I was involved. Became on the PTA board, and then Cal Allen does strategic planning every 5 years, and they invite all of the parents in the community to come in and talk about visioning. What do we want? You know, what do we want our goals to be? What new things do we want to provide for our students? And I think I was the only parent that showed up for that, for the first one, that when my kids were in school. That was called Vision 2020. And then they had another one just this past year. And I think I was one of 2 parents that showed up. So it's just something that's in my heart that I care about. And so I love to be able to contribute. I think it's one of the most worthwhile endeavors that we've got going here in the Coastal Bend.
Thank you so much. Now's an opportunity for Regents to ask some follow-up questions. And while they turn on their mics, I'm going to start. There are a number of entities that oversee the work of a community college and all institutions of higher education, obviously state and federal laws, but there is specifically the Southern Association of Colleges Commission on Schools, SAC-COC, Commission on Colleges. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say SAC-COC is our regional accrediting body. Stop trying to explain the acronym. One of many, many parts of the accreditation process is the role of the board and the role of management in that process. And there's a very, as one of our former regents called it, a very bright line between governance and management of the college. Bill, I'm sorry, could we ask you to log off for a moment?
Sure.
I'm so sorry, we're not quite ready for you.
All right. Just let me, oh, over here. Got it.
There we go. All right. So there's a very bright line between governance and management of the college. And so just wanted to hear your thoughts on the difference between governance and management and the role of the board and the role of the CEO.
Yeah, I've served on quite a lot of boards, and I've seen the problem that can occur when boards kind of get confused with governance and management. Micromanagement from the board is almost never helpful, and it's not something that's part of their job. I see it as more of helping to establish policy, be there as a support role for the president, and the management. We set the policy, and then the management carries it out, and we try to make sure we do everything we can to give them everything they need to make that happen.
Thank you. Are there other questions from Regents? Libby?
Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning, Ms. Pierce. My question is, given your professional background, and you mentioned that you had served on some boards as well, what particular skills or talents do you think you would bring to the board that would be of benefit to our operations?
Well, I mean, I am a transactional attorney, and so many of the things that I'm sure you have to deal with, it's something that I deal with on a daily basis. All of the contracts and employment issues and things like that. So that's something I'm real familiar with. I'm also the treasurer of the current board I'm on right now of my church, and so I have the accounting ability. In estate planning, a lot of what we do has to do with asset management, asset protection, buying and selling of properties, setting up of entities. I deal with nonprofits, and so I've got that background. So I'm pretty familiar. I mean, most of my clients also are business owners. And so it's just something that I deal with on a regular basis. So I feel like I would be comfortable in pretty much anything that would come before us.
Other questions from Regents? Hearing none, Ms. Pierce, we'd like to offer you the opportunity to provide some wrap-up comments.
Well, I tell you, one of the questions was, what makes you best to serve? And I don't know that I would be best. I don't know that. I mean, I think we have some great applicants, and so I don't feel. I just feel like it's a great opportunity to serve. It's something I really care about. I know what a big commitment it is because I see Susan dealing with it and spending a lot of time. And so I would never volunteer to make this type of commitment unless it was something that I really cared about and that I really thought was vital to our community. And so it's just something I care about. I'm not really a political animal. I don't have other political aspirations. It's just something I care about and something I think I'd be good at. So I don't know that there are going to be that many people that could handle this position like all of you do. And so I think those of us who could should step up, and that's why I'm here.
We certainly appreciate that, and I appreciate the opportunity to meet you, and look forward to meeting you again in person. And again, thank you very much on behalf of the board for your application and for your willingness to serve.
And thank you all for your service as well.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, Regents, we will take another short break while we get Mr. Kelly on the line. Mr. Bennett, are you with us?
This is Regent Bennett.
Thank you, sir. We're going to wait for Dr. Turner to return to her seat. All right. Dr. Turner, we are all here. So, Mr. Kelly, thank you for joining us today. I just realized on the last caller that my camera is here, but you are here. So, hi, Mr. Revere's with us as well. So I'm going to apologize for not looking you in the eye while I'm talking with you. We have about 30 minutes together if we need that time. During that time, you will have approximately 3 to 5 minutes for an introductory statement. Then we have 3 specific questions we had sent you in advance that we'd like you to respond to. Follow that will be an opportunity for questions from the Regents, and then an opportunity for you to provide a wrap-up statement. So with that, I want to give you the opportunity to start your opening statement.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I know several of you, and you know me, and a lot of what I would have talked about is in my resume. But there are things in there that are not in there that I think might give you some insight into who I am and why I'm here. what you probably don't know is my parents, Bill and Mary Lou Kelly, they were both the first people in their families to get a college degree. And they educated me and my 5 siblings to have a passion for service and for education. Because they were the first in their family, they valued that very highly. And you can see from my resume that that took hold. I have 32 years of public service, either as an elected official or nonprofit boards. It is a true passion of mine, and I think that the Del Mar board would be a natural extension of the service I've provided to the community thus far. I think I've got a lot more to give, and I'm anxious to do that. Personally, I'm married to Yvonne Kelly. Many of you know her as well. She's an assistant principal at Cal Allen Middle School. I have 2 children. Daughter lives in Austin and is a teacher, and my son, who attended Del Mar College and recently graduated from A&M with computer programming degree. I hope that gives you guys some indication of who I am and what I'm about.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kelly.
Okay.
The first question that we sent you in advance, we'd like you to respond to is, what makes Del Mar College's mission powerful for you?
I told you that my parents were both the first in their families to get a college education. What I didn't tell you is that my father did not start out as a great student, and he ended up, after being married and having me, having to attend college part-time at night. If that opportunity had not been available to him, our lives would all be very different. My wife went to San Antonio College for the first 2 years, like many of our students. So she attended a junior college before going on to get a 4-year degree. My son, like my father, was not a great student when he started, and he flunked out of a 4-year program. And then he went to Del Mar, and Del Mar taught him not only the course material, but Del Mar taught him how to be a good student, how to study. And so Del Mar mission has touched 3 generations of my family. I'm pretty passionate about it. I think it's indispensable to our community.
Thank you very much. The second question is, what is a Regents' role in a community college, and how would you carry out that role?
I don't see it as being very different than my role, particularly as a school board trustee, and to a large degree as a city council member. I understand that as a regent, I am not going to be running the college, be setting policy, tax rates, and giving direction to those that are going to be running the college. That distinction is very clear to me. I have served with people, in particular on the school board, who didn't understand that distinction, and I saw the damage that was done when board members tried to run our campuses. So I understand the distinction. I've lived it. I've got 16 years of experience, 8 years on the school board. I think I understand the Regents' role pretty well. I'm not so arrogant to assume that there might not be some unique aspects to it that I have not learned as a school board trustee or as a city council member. and I'm open to learn those things. But I understand I'm not the one who's running the college.
Thank you. And then the third question, what do you believe you bring to the Board of Regents that makes you unique and best qualified to serve?
Well, when we say unique, I guess unique from the other applicants, and I have not read their resumes, but having such extensive experience as a public servant, city council member, and in particular, I think on the Calallen School Board, it gives me some insight into the challenges that the Board of Regents does and is facing. But even beyond that, I think that my professional experience would be helpful as well. I'm an attorney. That makes me an advocate. And I'm a family lawyer. And as a family lawyer, I saw the damage advocacy does to families that are breaking up and fighting over their children, and embraced the concept of mediation as a better way to resolve family disputes. And I have been mediating family law cases for years now. And in fact, I do more family mediations than any other lawyer or mediator in the Coastal Bend. It may not actually be bragging to say I probably do more than the next two busiest family mediators combined. And that is because I think that my personality is well suited for that. My job is to build consensus to people who are very angry and hurt at each other. And that suits my personality very well. And that aspect of my personality has suited me very well in my role as a school board trustee, as a school board member, and as a member of the various nonprofit boards that I've been on. I understand that the challenges. I think that I have been a good board member on the various boards, and I understand probably better than most of or any of the other candidates the special challenges faced by a public entity taxed or charged with educating our population. I think that the personality, my experience, my commitment to public service does make me unique. I probably have more experience in how public entities are funded, in particular schools. And so I think that I start with the appropriate personality. I know several of you. I know that I can work with you all. I look forward to getting to know the rest of you better. And I don't start from zero on the challenges that you're facing. And I'm not so arrogant to recognize that I don't know everything about what you guys have been doing, and there's going to be some learning curve, and I'm prepared for that.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Regents, now is the opportunity for us to ask additional questions of Mr. Kelly. I will start while Regents, the cue that we use is they unmute their mic. That's the way I know somebody else has a question. But want to start, Mr. Kelly, with one of the things that makes community colleges and institutions of higher education unique is, in addition to state and federal laws and regulations, we also abide by a regional accrediting body, SACS-COC. I'm going to try to get this right. The Commission on Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. No,
All right.
Southern Association of Commission. Never mind. Oh, I give up. SACS-COC.
Okay.
It out. It's a running joke because I've gotten it wrong every time I've tried to say it this morning. But one of the critical features relating to community colleges and those who are governed by boards of regents and boards of trustees is the distinction between management and governance. And so you've already spoken a little bit to the ISD relationship, but just wanted to give you an opportunity to expound on your knowledge and on your understanding of the difference between management and governance.
Okay. Management, in my experience, it with direct responsibility of our school board superintendent and the city manager. These are professionals that we chose as the boards that I was on to run the entities that I governed when I was on the board or the council. And I recognize that it's their responsibility to make the day-to-day decisions. It's their responsibilities to make most of the hires. It's their responsibility to come to us with what budget they need and why they need it. And it's our decision to set the policies under which they operate. That distinction is very clear to me. I understand it completely. I've lived it, and I think in the 16 years that I've been in governance, I have respected it and not abused it. And I think that you should anticipate that you would get more of the same from me moving forward.
Thank you. Regents, are there other questions? All right, seeing none, Mr. Kelly, I'm going to give you an opportunity to provide some wrap-up comments.
Okay, there's not much else that I want to add. Other than to say that I think that I'm a good team member. The people on the board that I know I can work with, and I anticipate that the ones that I don't, I will get to know quickly and enjoy working with. And I hope that those of you that know me feel the same way, that you would enjoy working with me and consider me an asset to the board. And I look forward to earning the trust of those individuals on the board that I don't already know. And I appreciate the opportunity to serve the community in this capacity and look forward to your decision.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly, and thank you so much for your willingness to apply in your past public service as well.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
All right.
Our Regents will now take about a 10-minute break so that we can come back into closed session in just a few minutes. Please leave. You can certainly turn your cameras and your microphones off, but do not log out, or we won't be able to bring you back in. So we're going to take about a 10-minute break. We'll reconvene at 10:18. All right, Regents, as we return, I do need to read the closed session language. Excuse me, we're returning from our recess at 10:18. I do need to read the closed session language, and then staff will close out, we'll lock the meeting so that we can deliberate in closed session. So the board will enter into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 regarding the pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offer and the seeking of legal advice from counsel, with possible discussion and action in open session, and under Texas Government Code 551.074A1 regarding the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, including appointment to fill District 3 Regent vacancy, with possible discussion and action in open session. The time is 10:18. The Board of Regents has come back into open session at 10:49 a.m. Want to thank all of our applicants for the interviews today and for, again, their willingness to serve Del Mar College.
We do have a motion coming out of closed session. Ms. Hutchinson?
Ms. Hutchinson?
Yes, Madam Chair. First, I would like to acknowledge that we had four very, very good interviews. We enjoyed our time. There was a definite feeling that each one of the candidates had some very significant strengths. And we want to thank each one of them for the interest in filling the very difficult to fill shoes of Elva Estrada in the position on the Board of Regents. Having said that, and having considered all of the information and those interviews, I would like to move to approve the appointment of Bill Kelly, for the District 3 position on the Board of Regents.
Thank you very much. Is there a second to that motion? Dr. Turner, do you second that? Is that correct? Yeah. Yes, thank you. We'll now do a roll call vote for that position, starting with Dr. Adami.
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
Mr. Garza,
Aye.
Ms. Hutchinson,
Yes.
Dr. Turner,
Yes.
thank you very much. And I'm Regent Scott. I vote yes. That motion is unanimous. We look forward to welcoming Mr. Kelly to the Del Mar College Board of Regents. And once again, want to thank all of the applicants for their interest in Del Mar College and for their public service. With no other business before the board today, our meeting is adjourned at 10:51 a.m. Thank you very much, Regents.